excuse the mess. I accepted the role for ambassador because, I mean, I think there's a lot that needs to be done, basically, with kind of dialogue between different cultures, definitely. Especially, I mean, I've grown up in London, and it's a melting pot. There's loads of diversity here. There's loads of different characters, different people, different races. But sometimes you feel, I don't know, you feel a bit of segregation, and not genuinely because of racism or prejudice. Sometimes it's just to do with people understanding different cultures and why people eat different foods, why people dress different ways. And it can seem weird to you, obviously, when you don't know about it, you don't understand why. So it's about breaking down the barriers, you know. And obviously, I mean, I've been doing that a lot anyway. Maybe not between different races, but I mean, we've got a huge problem with gun crime and knife crime over here at the moment. And a lot of that is to do with dialogue as well. Maybe not intercultural, but with the police, with the youth, with the government and the youth, you know.
A lot of documentaries and stuff here in the UK that have had a huge impact on young people. And like, would you consider doing something like that as your role as intercultural dialogue on a European level?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's something I'm very passionate about, and it took me a long time to understand, but eventually I did get there, to the place where I understood that me having this voice and me kind of being in the position that I am in, I mean, it's all about utilising your voice, you know. There's no point me being in the place I am if I can't use that to help other people. I think it's 80% of what I'm here to do, is to be a role model and to inspire other people and to help other people to get to the places they want to be, you know. The other part of it is making music and filming and being famous, but the main reason why I do this is to have an influence. I grew up in Peckham, in a really rough part of South London, and with a single parent, my mum, and it was really hard for us, but my mum kind of always let me she made me lead a double life, basically. So on the weekends, I'll be with a lot of middle-class, rich kids, kind of in theatre school, doing stuff that I wouldn't usually do at home, you know, and kind of inspired me a lot. So when I got to the age where I could make decisions for myself, I kind of pretty much said that I just want to do music and acting, you know, and I've just been persistent, really. But yeah, I was at a talk 2 days ago in Haringey, for Haringey Council, talking to kids between like 10 to 15 years old about reading and how important reading is, because I excelled in reading at school. I was bad, I got in a lot of trouble, but I did my work. I loved English, I loved writing stories, and I loved reading. And that's put me in a position where it's a lot easier for me to act, to understand scripts, to write scripts, to read them. And obviously, I mean, vocabulary as well, writing lyrics and even talking to people and having dialogue has helped me a lot. So just telling kids how important it is, you know.
You say you were a bad boy. Tell us a bit more about that.
Yeah, I had my troubles. Obviously, I mean, I was saying before, I grew up in Peckham, and I mean, a lot of my role models and my influences were the local drug dealers, the local bad boys. That's who I looked up to. When I joined the Soul Solid crew, where I started my main music career, it kind of came out of me a lot, because I mean, our whole image was about being bad, about being kind of a gang that was making music, you know, and I think I took that to another level.
Yeah, you can find me regrets. Sick like I got Alzheimer's Tourette's, but you see the picture that I'm rhyming projector. I take care now when I'm signing the checks. The line on my neck, no time of baguettes. I buy flat, so I'm crying like the piss that you find on the steps. And the sun ain't shining, I bet
50-50. It's so easy these days to be distracted through peer pressure, or, do you know what I mean, what everyone else is doing, or what you think's the in thing or what isn't. What I did was just stick to my plan, you know, even though it meant sometimes I'd be bullied for doing the stuff that I was doing. Sometimes I didn't have as much friends as I would like to, or I didn't get to go cinema on the weekends with my mates and stuff like that. but I'm being rewarded for it now. And I think my generation and maybe a lot of the kids that have come after me are used to different cultures more than back in the day, you know. So I think when we were confronted with discrimination, racism, anything like that at a young age, and now, it's not the same. It doesn't anger me in the same way, I don't think. And maybe sometimes I'm a bit naive and don't actually get what people are trying to, do you know what I mean? It's kind of, you brush it off and kind of move on, because I've grown up with, I've had Chinese friends, Indian friends, do you know what I mean? I've known everyone, and colour has never been a thing for us. We've grown up with it not being a problem. So, I mean, in that sense, you can look at it, things are getting better, but I think there's a lot of people that still have to understand that they have to, I think you have to give people time, you know, especially, I mean, we've got the whole thing about, there's a lot of people that are against immigration and stuff like that, and I think understanding everyone's cultures and the reason why they do different things or why they are the way they are is so important to kind of get into a place where we can basically live without racism and discrimination, you know.
So I read in an interview the other day that one of the reasons that you took this role as the ambassador for the Intercultural Dialogue year was that you felt that the whole image that youth get in the media is really negative. Why is that, and what can you do maybe to change this?
Yeah, I mean, it's part and parcel of the same thing, you know, the whole intercultural dialogue thing. I mean, it's more, the kids here are labelled as mostly bad, do you know what I mean? And at least 70-80% of stuff you read or see about kids in the media is negative. And it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. The more you see that about yourselves, the more you see pictures of hoodies in the newspaper and them writing articles about them being bad and watch out for kids with a hoodie, the more you're gonna wear a hoodie to make people think that, do you know what I mean? And give people that image, and that's how kids are. We can accept each other's differences. And pain as well, you know what I mean? Because I think a lot of people are carrying, black people especially, are carrying a chip on their shoulder through slavery, through all the past and things that happened. And I think it's a simple thing that if someone else can understand that a bit more than they do, it might be easier for me to accept you, do you know what I mean? And vice versa. Thank you, mate. I'll see you later. I'll take care, bro. You alright? How you doing? You alright? Cool.
We can't forget the days of slavery. It's still modern day slaves keep passing it on through our genes. DNA, I was born looking like an athlete, but I ain't on no Olympic team. Let me break it down. Back in the day, black men would break like dogs because you're stronger than slaves.
I knew you were gonna do that.
And the more money that the white man got, what the white man gets. That's why my anger's amplified today. Like I'm gets. Now the new generation's got a chip on the shoulder, but they don't know why they're vexed. Authorities act perplexed like they don't know what's going on.
You too. Yeah, have a safe flight.
Responsible for the drugs that
Bye-bye.
Rain comes down on me. Mother Earth feeling guide over me. From all the pain and mental slavery. This ain't now it's meant to be.
Mr. Brown, I need a